Chinese name is Xingyue, and then my English name is Eugenia. I'm from Szechuan. It's in the southwest part of China.
My name is Jacob Chin. In Mandarin, you pronounce it Chen Zhaoji or Jie. In Cantonese, it's Chen Xiuji. But for the most part, most of my family is from the Guangdong province in Taishan County, Guangdong province. However, one of my grandparents is from Hong Kong before it became Hong Kong that it is today.
It's a place I'm proud of because that's where my home come from, right? Like my parents, they're still there, and also my relatives, they're still there, and I feel like, yeah, it's my home and it's something I'm proud of.
China is the motherland. China is the country that my family comes from. China is in many ways it holds so much meaning because there is that rich history. There's 4,000 plus years of history that that I inherit as being ethnically Chinese. But also in other ways it doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, I am Chinese American. All I know of being Chinese comes from being Chinese American. I don't know what it means to be Chinese from China. I know what it means to be a Chinese from America.
Diaspora, the movement of a population from its original homeland, the motherland. Tempted by the American dream and the hope for a better life, many Chinese immigrate or study in the U.S. The Chinese bring not only their bodies, but also their customs and ways of life. Removed from its geographic roots, Chinese culture can manifest itself in a diluted form. We see a culture adapting and changing to the American structure. The children of diaspora experience a hybrid version of the two separate and distinct cultures. Though the Chinese have the same ethnic heritage, many experience their culture differently based on where they were raised. Ultimately, most face discrimination in America.
And I think one thing to mention about American-born Chinese is that they're kind of in an awkward situation because American people will identify them as Asian, but like Chinese people would identify them, yeah, they're American-born, they're not Chinese. So they're kind of in between. I think that's probably why they are trying to categorize them into either American or either Chinese. I think that's probably why. Because they're American-born plus Chinese.
I can understand more than your average person, like who doesn't speak Chinese. I can understand, for the most part, if you're speaking Mandarin to me, I can get the gist of what you're trying to ask me. I can understand that, but I can't speak. I've been told, because you don't speak Chinese, you're not a real Chinese person.
Not because they are even though they're American-born Chinese, I think they're just different kind of people. A lot of my Chinese friends, their English is, I'm not saying they're bad, but like their English is not as they don't speak that well as I speak.
Okay.
So they will try to prevent themselves from speaking English because they know the Americans will treat them in that way. It's not something a bad way. Like nobody is saying some bad words to them, but like it's implicitly they will feel like, yeah, it's just hard to communicate with them. Like once they know you are international students.
I mean, I've been called a chink, kook, zipperhead. Zipperhead is in reference to the war in Korea, the Korean War, and the Vietnamese War, Vietnam War, when you'd have the tread marks or tire marks that would go over corpses, and so someone joked around that, oh, looks like a zipper. So on, say, like a Viet Cong corpse, oh, that looks like a zipperhead. I've been called chink. I've been called, you have such chinky eyes, or you speak such good English.
They are definitely, not a lot, but they are still a lot. Like, it's not very explicit, but whenever you talk with people, you can feel some implicit things when they are implying things. At first, people are all like acting like normal. Yeah, just talk about some random things, and then after they figure out you're Chinese or you're like just international students, I think I can feel there's something changed.
It's a culture of pride. We're a people who have done and suffered and endured so much, especially in America. We built the fucking railroads. We moved fucking mountains. Yeah, people don't know that. People forget about that times. I mean, we are here, and we are not these mystical beings. We are real people. We have our history, we have our pride in that history that backs us up.
Rejected by misunderstanding, this is one of the symptoms of the ethnoscape. The pull of globalization and the movements of immigrants and tourists can unintentionally create a sense of stereotypes. Intended to facilitate understanding of the Chinese culture, these stereotypes can misrepresent it, affecting how a Chinese person sees themselves in modern America. To cope with the discrimination, the Chinese must retain a strong sense of self to navigate the ever-changing experience of the Chinese in America.